Peace. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Suri for those who are new. If you are returning, thank you for watching my video. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. Also hit the like button for me because likes are what circulates my videos around YouTube, so that would be very beneficial. Although a subscribe is also very beneficial. If the reading resonates, if you feel so called, please by all means subscribe to my channel. Also leave a comment. I will reply back. I don't mind replying back. Just keep it cute. I'll block you. All right, I don't have much to plug today. I just want to get straight into the topic because this topic is something that I have been having to do a lot of lately. Honestly, I've been doing it for a long time, but I feel like there are certain periods, you go through in life that are sometimes just a bit darker, for lack of better terms, than others. And when I say dark, I don't want you to think like dark means bad. Those are the parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily want to venture to or go to, although these parts of ourselves hold so much information and so much valuable insight into who you are as a person and why you do the things you do and how you can change certain things if you wish to do that. So as you can see from the title of this video, this is about shadow work, and number one, what it is, two, the importance of it, and three, how you can do it. So for the first part of the video, I just want to talk about what shadow work is. Shadow work is essentially becoming friends with the dark side of yourself. Like people talk about alter egos and stuff. Essentially, that's what your shadow self is. Your shadow self is the you that you are scared to show to people, don't want to show to people, the you that you are ashamed of, the you that you don't really talk to. You only want to associate with the good side of you, the positive and happy vibe type shit, and yeah, positive vibes, but let's not say positive vibes only, because sometimes when we venture to that side of ourselves, we can ascend even higher when we come out of those places because we know so much more about ourselves and about our behaviors and why we act the way we act. So what shadow work is an integration of this part of yourself into your whole self so that you can embody and be everything you were meant to be. Because let's be honest, there are situations in which they definitely require you to turn up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like they definitely require you to stand your ground, to defend yourself. And you don't have to do these things aggressively. You don't have to do these things like in a rude way. But sometimes that side of ourselves, like we shush that part of ourselves, like we sometimes make ourselves small, or we're too scared of like the retaliation to us, being who we truly are and expressing ourselves and defending ourselves and standing up for ourselves. This honestly, I just thought about it, could be for us African American people like an ingrained part of like slavery, because if we acted out, we would get whipped, you know what I'm saying? And I was about to go on a whole other tangent about Black people whooping their kids, but another topic for another day. A large part of our shadow selves form when we experience trauma. A lot of our trauma we experience during childhood. That's just the way it goes. Typically these days, of course, we experience trauma all throughout life. Like trauma is not a part that stops. Like that's definitely a part of life. And so as a child, we're not really aware. Some of us were very aware as children, but at the same time, no matter how aware you are, there was always the fact that like I'm a child, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't really do much, and really you can't, because as a child you're supposed to be cared for. Like that's really your only job as a child, is to be cared for. So as a child, when things would happen that would hurt you or traumatize you, we didn't really know how to process these things, and it resulted in us shaping ourselves and molding ourselves to fit whatever paradigm that we were born into so that we could feel safe and that we could feel love, because as a child, our only job is to be cared for, but we want to feel love. Like that is the ultimate driving force for a child to be great, is to feel loved as a child. If a child does not feel love, they will seek love. And so in order to seek love, they may change things about themselves. They may do things they wouldn't normally do. There's all these different mechanisms for seeking love. So as an adult, these behaviors and these patterns that we developed as children to make ourselves feel loved and feel seen and feel whole don't necessarily apply anymore, because now we're adults. So now it's our job to like do the loving, especially when you have children, And so it can be hard for those of us, and we all experience it, because we'll all eventually run into that wall, like, okay, there's something wrong here that I need to fix about what I learned as a child. Unless you grew up in a loving two-parent, maybe it was just one parent. You know, I have my beliefs about two-parent households. I believe children should have two parents growing up. I believe you should see masculine and you should see feminine. And not to say that you don't have both masculine and feminine within you, because you do. However, some people are more masculine and some people are more feminine, and that's just the way it goes. And I think there should be a balance of both. Whether that's a masculine woman and a feminine woman, that works. You know what I'm saying? In my book, I didn't write the book of life. I didn't write the Bible. I didn't write any of that. So don't judge me, don't quote me. You know what I'm saying? This is just what I believe and how I feel. So when there's a man, a masculine energy, whether it be a man or a woman, and a feminine energy, whether that be a man or a woman, I feel like that is what can cultivate the masculine and the feminine within the child. You know what I'm saying? And then a healthy display of love at that. So that's not even saying the parent, I mean, y'all could co-parent, you know, and still love your child and still show how to have a cordial relationship, you know, with the parent, the other parent of your child. So shadow work as an adult is essentially taking back these parts of ourselves that were hurt, traumatized, abused, misused, ultimately these parts of ourselves that feel pain, and to integrate those parts of ourselves back into ourselves, the parts that we shushed and, you know, whatever, because we wanted to feel love. Like, this is shadow work is about integrating that back into yourself to become whole again, because as a child, all we knew how to be was ourselves. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, yes, the conditioning starts to form and things change, but at your purest, which I feel is about up until the age of like 4, because I feel like even at 5, children start forming personalities. Even though they're still pretty pure, they still form ways of thinking and ways of being based on who they're with in their environment, you know? At 4, I still kind of feel like kids are at that really ripe stage where they're not yet aware enough, you know, of the fact that there's a certain way to be, you know what I'm saying, or how to behave, or, you know, whatever. I feel like they're still pretty just exploring life and just like figuring out like how to even be, you know, a human. The major important part of shadow work is just confronting our old beliefs and old ways of being, thinking. If you know, played small because you feel like you couldn't be heard, or if, you know, you talk too much because you feel like you never were heard, you know, like there's both ends to every spectrum, you know what I'm saying? So whatever behaviors or habits or just ways of being that you developed as a result of trauma, shadow work is all about integrating that back into yourself so that you can heal from these things and be a whole person as opposed to just parts of yourself. So the importance of shadow work. This is very important because, number one, it helps better our relationships with other people. Like, that is like the main reason, you know what I'm saying? Because if you follow me, then you know what I believe, you know what I'm saying, as far as serving our kingdom and things like that, and how serving God's kingdom literally just means helping your neighbor, loving your neighbor, caring for your neighbor. That's all really God asks us to do. All this extra shit, it's in God's hands. It's above me, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. But our relationships with each other form the foundation of the way that society is going to function. Because if we can heal these parts of ourselves and love each other based upon the fact that we know how to love ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Because we may behave in ways that we don't like, or we may behave in ways that we don't necessarily agree with, or we're mean to people, or we hurt people, you know, we do these things. But what matters is like the awareness of the fact that I'm doing this and the ability to change this. And so the awareness comes, and then you can dive deeper and figure out why you do that. What happened to you to make you feel like I had to do this to this person? And then you can change that. Then you can heal that part of yourself. You can call that part of yourself back to you, whole, healed, and transmuted. You know what I'm saying? Into love and into compassion and acceptance. And if we treated everybody with compassion because we had compassion for ourselves, this would not be happening right now. None of this would be happening. But we don't have people in power who treat people with compassion. That's just what it is. I'm a radical conspiracy theorist. They're not conspiracies, they're the truth. So like, if you don't like that stuff, you can leave my channel, because you're not gonna like it here. You're not gonna like it here, and that's fine with me. You can go kiss the colonizers' butts, because you're gonna fall with them. Anyways, So not only does shadow work help us to heal and to evolve into whole and complete beings so that we can help heal each other and raise the vibration of the planet, doing shadow work can help us tap into the power that we didn't even know we had. Once we can go back and retrieve these parts of our souls and these parts of ourselves that we have forgotten about, we have stuffed down and shoved down, there's so much magic there. There's so much power there. There's so much that we didn't know we were capable of, or so much that we didn't even know existed within us. That's often where you're going to find your greatest gifts. I believe that as children, the parts of ourselves that are attacked the most are the parts of ourselves that we need to hold on to the most. So if you're ever lost or confused and don't know what your purpose is, think about the shit that you've had to overcome in life. Like, think about all the things in your life that have happened that have traumatized you and have hurt you. What ways have they changed you? 9 times out of 10, that's how you're supposed to help somebody else, because you've gone through it. You know what it is, you know what I'm saying? And the people that you're supposed to be helping, I feel like, are kids. Like, kids are truly the future. Like, if there are children in your life, and I'm not saying you have to have kids to help kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids are everywhere. Like, kids, you can work with kids, you can volunteer with kids, you can go to kids' games, like, you can do a whole lot with kids, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's important because they are the future. They're the ones who are going to incite this change if you start with them young. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a Bible verse. I can't remember exactly what verse, but it's saying, teach them the ways that they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's true. If you teach a child what morale is, if you teach them how to love themselves and how to love other people and what compassion is, they will grow up and treat not only themselves these way, but other people, because children are products of their environment. They're products of what you condition them to believe. And that's why I love seeing videos these days with kids saying affirmations and stuff, because that is powerful. Like, I can't even imagine myself at 6 or 7 calling myself beautiful. I never felt beautiful my whole entire life. There was nobody telling me that I was beautiful. Like, my grandmother's fucking friends at church, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was nobody calling me beautiful. Like, not parents, not siblings, not any. As a matter of fact, I was called the opposite, you know what I'm saying, by people who were close to me and people that I cared about. So, like, that shit hurts. Like, as a kid, that shit hurts. I know there are people out there going through the same thing, and there are people who kill themselves over stuff like this. There are people who kill themselves over bullying. There are people who kill themselves over having a single parent. There are people who kill themselves over being black. You know what I'm saying? We get killed because we're black. Like, there's so much shit out here. But yeah, anyways, this is why I do what I do. So the things that I've experienced and what I've had to overcome are the reason why I talk, you know what I'm saying? Because as a child, I feel like I was made to be silenced. That is why I love myself proudly and loudly, even though it's hard and it's scary sometimes. I don't exactly get the best reception all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I don't need to be, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie and say that sometimes it doesn't, hurt me a little bit to feel like an outcast in some kind of way, like I just don't fit in. So I'm just patiently waiting for my soul tribe. I'm patiently waiting for my people, and I'm loving when the people who are around me that I do know are genuine. So yeah. How to do shadow work. One of the most powerful ways to do shadow work is journaling. I journal all the time. I meant to have a journal out so I could show you like my pages and stuff, because I journal a lot. Like, for me, it helps me get my thoughts on paper, because my mind moves so fast that oftentimes I don't form complete sentences. And you hear it even when I speak. Like, number one, I speak very quickly. And number two, I always, like, there are times, I did it just now, I always cut my sentences off short to form a whole new sentence. It's as if I'm just jumping from one thought to the next, very fast. I don't finish things out. And so when I journal, I'm forced to finish my sentence. So I'm forced to finish this thought. And if another thought comes, you're gonna have to wait because I gotta finish this one. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you might forget that thought, or it might still be there, whatever. But journaling really helps you get a grip on what exactly is going through your mind. How exactly do I feel? You know what I'm saying? It helps you release these emotions. So journaling is good even when you're upset and the alternative is going to knock somebody's head off. pull out your journal and just write all that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Some people do music. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for creativity, period. So that's another way I was going to say to do shadow work. I didn't even write it down, but it popped in my head. Is to be creative. You know what I'm saying? Create something out of what it is that you're experiencing. So for me and all my pain that I experienced, I created a documentary, I created a poetry book, and I still continue to create many different things just off of what I've experienced as a child, because I know my story is so touching and it can really help somebody else. Like, I've been told more than once, you know what I'm saying? So because I know these things, I'm building off of literally just me. And that's how I'm going to make my way, you know, forward. That's how I'm going to create my future, because my future consists of me exposing me and being vulnerable of me and giving of me, so that the world can heal, so that people can heal, so that people can become better people. That's all this is. Like, that's all. If we are better people, the world's a better place. Period. You know what I'm saying? If we care about people, if we care about the environment, if we care about ourselves, then the world automatically becomes a better place. And so that's ultimately what my goal is here. That's what I'm trying to do, is just make this world a better place. So journaling and creativity, well, journaling is a form of creativity, but creativity in any expense. I paint sometimes, you know, I did a poetry book, like I said, I did a documentary. People do photo shoots. You can go outside and be in nature and just create. You can sing, you can write music, you can whatever your medium is of, you know, creativity, like, just do that and transmute that pain. That's what that is. You're calling that pain back to you, but you're transmuting it into something beautiful, into something that people can relate to, into something people can heal from. That's what's important. Another way that you can help integrate your shadow self is to talk to somebody. Get a therapist. And this is not for everybody. Journaling is a lot easier and a lot more accessible. Therapy, sometimes people just can't afford it, and that's just the reality of life. So if you can't afford a therapist, if you have a really good friend, you know what I'm saying, who doesn't mind listening to you talk about your problems and, you know, try to help you through them and just be on your side and just be somebody in your corner to support you, talk to your friend about it. If you have a family member like that, talk to your family member about it. You know what I'm saying? If there's somebody in your life that you can disclose these things to, then I highly recommend doing that, as long as there's a safe space, you know, because talking it out will help you realize things you didn't even realize before, and it'll help you just understand that you're not really alone out here. You know, you have support, you have people here willing to listen, and just knowing that you have somebody to listen honestly can be a big morale boost, like a big boost to your morality, like just knowing that you're loved. And it's one thing to know you're loved without anybody around, and that takes a lot of strength. That's a strength that I've had to acquire. And so I know that not everybody even has to develop that strength, because some people are just never ever lonely. They always have people around them. From the day they're born to the day they die, they have people around them all the time. And that's a beautiful blessing, and that's something that you should never take for granted, you know, knowing that you are loved by somebody, having somebody to call on at all times. Like, that is a beautiful thing. So if you have that, definitely use that to your advantage. The last way that I wrote that you can call back your shadow self is to do a soul retrieval meditation. So you can look up meditations on YouTube. Maybe I'll create one. Maybe this is a call to create a soul retrieval meditation. But essentially what that is a meditation to where you go back to some of your most traumatic times, like your most traumatic memories, and it's kind of like reliving it. So this is kind of like a third level, like, it's not your basic beginner level, you know, shadow work. I would say this is probably intermediate to advanced, where you allow yourself, your spirit self, your energetic self, to go back to those moments as a child that harmed you, that hurt you, that, you know, made you the person that you were. And in that experience and going back to that, because time isn't a thing, you are changing the outcome by healing yourself, by comforting yourself and telling yourself it's okay, and being that space that you needed for yourself, you know what I'm saying, when you were a kid, although you didn't have it at that time. So like I said, that's probably like an intermediate to advanced type. If you don't have anybody to talk to and you're not comfortable doing a soul retrieval meditation, I definitely recommend just starting with journaling. Literally, it will change a lot if you remain consistent with it enough to see yourself grow. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you gotta journal every single day at the same exact time. I just mean, like, Journal whenever you feel like you are not doing well. Journal every single time that you remember to journal. You know what I'm saying? Journal every time when you feel good. Like, make a point to journal in moments where you are aware of how you are feeling. And then when you can go back through your journal, you'll see the growth. You know what I'm saying? So that's for those of us who have a hard time sticking to a schedule, because, you know, I used to journal every single morning, and then it was every single night. You know, like I vary, because I'm just like that. It's hard for me to stick to like a flow for too long. I always have to switch it up and, you know, change it up. But that is my video for today. This is a powerful video, and I'm so excited to actually release this, even though, you know, I don't have many followers now. I don't care, because I know this video is going to reach those who it needs to reach, and when it's time for this video to get big, it's gonna get big. And my phone's about to die, so it was perfect timing. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you watched all the way through, I truly, sincerely hope this video helped and resonated in some type of way, and I hope that you gain healing from it. I hope you can, you know, integrate those parts of yourselves that were in pain and shame and traumatized and things like that, because you are a beautiful being. You are whole. You deserve to be loved. You are loved. You're adorable. I love you, and I'm so happy that you even watched this video, because that means that you love you too. Because even if you're watching this video and you feel down or bad about yourself, you're watching a video that's like how to help. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we can never ask for, is trying to help yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, helping yourself, even if you never help another person, helping yourself is raising the vibration of the planet, because you are a part of this planet. You matter. You're connected. So thank you so much. I love you. Peace.
Big wheels keep rolling, I'm outside. 29, G5, seaside. I've been losing friends and finding peace, but honestly that sound like a fair trade to me. If I ever heard one, and I'm still here outside. Front line, south side. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly that sound like a fair trade to me. Look.